So I 3D printed this mechanical keyboard for under $100, and you can too, at home. So this is the XYZ Workboard R2 from Louder. And if you don't know who Louder is, they've made a slate of crazy macro boards and keyboards for themselves, but also for a lot of companies. Framer and most recently OpenAI did collaborations with them to make their own versions of their Creator Micro, which was their first kind of product on the market that made them popular. And they followed it up with a full-size ortholinear keyboard that you can 3D print at home. And the way that it works is everything on this board comes from these 3D printed parts that you can print on anything as small as a Bamboo A1 Mini, like I did. Now, before we get into all that, let's talk about the actual keyboard. So I've been a fan of Louder for a while now. I have actually a few of their products. Their Creator Micro, I actually have the very first version that they made. It's not even compatible with their software anymore because it's so old in terms of like how fast they've been moving, but I absolutely love this company for the style of stuff that they try to do. It's definitely out there. I mean, if you look at this board, it's unlike most things you've ever seen in terms of what you consider premium keyboards, but there's just something different and like risky about the way that they kind of develop their hardware. And I just absolutely love that. I love companies that take risks and do things a little bit differently. And if anything, you can say that Louder does stuff differently. Now, I have a lot of keyboards. If you've seen this channel before, my main keyboard is a Mode Sonnet with a bunch of configurations that put it over $600. This one's a little bit cheaper. You can get this board for $79. For reference, this is their Creator Micro that they initially released. This is the one that I bought. It has an acrylic middle plate, so you can actually see the LED shining through. It has a nice kind of aluminum bottom plate. And overall, the design language is just very strong on this keyboard. And you can tell it's pretty much the same design language carried over into what I would consider a more full-size keyboard. Now, the XYZ R2 is a 47-key ortholinear keyboard. And what ortholinear means is just all of the keys are going to be arranged in a perfectly symmetrical grid shape. They're not going to be off-center like a normal QWERTY keyboard like you're used to typing on. This is a very different typing experience. I would say the closest typing experience that I can kind of relate this to is imagine you do have a macro pad and you make the macro pad longer and you're typing on those keys. That's kind of how it feels to type on the XYZ. It is also USB-C powered, which is super nice. And it does work with input, which is Louder's like custom software to do macro adjustments for the keys and then also to change the RGB lighting, which it does have underneath the actual PCB. The switches on the XYZ are 50-gram soldered linear switches. So they sound and feel pretty good, but they are not hot swappable. So the keys that you have on the board are the keys that you have. They also call these their blind keycaps, and you can see I have the exact same ones on the Creator Micro. You can, of course, pay to upgrade these to ones with legends and icons on them. I didn't. I just wanted to do the bare minimum that I could do to like see what the entry-level version of this keyboard looks like. And I say that because there's actually 3 variants of this board. You can do the assembly kit, which is they 3D print the parts and they send you the PCB, but you have to put it together yourself. They do the PCB kit, which is what I got, which is they literally ship you the PCB and that's it. And you have to print everything yourself. Or they can do the pre-built one, which is they do everything for you, which in my opinion kind of defeated the purpose of this board because you didn't get to actually print anything or build anything. So I went with the PCB version, which means I had to do everything myself. Now, printing this thing was actually super easy. They give you all of the downloads in their website. So you basically just download it. It's one file that you send to your printer, and you get a whole slate of bits and pieces to assemble it. When I was looking for the build guide, the first day I was actually looking for the build guide, it wasn't there. There was like no public link on their website. Waited a few days. Eventually there was a public link. There was downloads for the actual files and components and things like that. We printed the components, which we'll talk about in a second. But then once we actually did that, they forgot to ship stuff to me. So the actual package they shipped to me was this, and this is basically the entire thing. It was like this, PCB was in here, and then there was a bag of screws. That was it. There was no instructions. There was like a QR code that you can scan to go to the instructions page. Cool, whatever. But there was no tools, there was no USB-C cable, and there's no rubber pads, which you need rubber pads to build this board. I'll show you that in a second, but there was basically no instructions, no guides, no tools, no accessories, nothing in this box. So I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I think I'm missing some things. And then I didn't hear back. So I reached out first on Twitter, then I reached out on Instagram, then I reached out on Discord, and then somebody in their Discord told me to submit a ticket, so I submitted a ticket finally. And then simultaneously, I heard back from like every single platform from whoever was like running their socials that basically they forgot to ship the pads. And the pads are basically when you 3D print this, between the PCB and the actual 3D printed part, you need these like rubber pads, and they also go on the bottom of the board. So you can't actually build this board without those pads. So they're not like an optional thing, you have to have them. So they forgot to ship the pads, and then they also forgot to ship the Allen key, which you need to actually tighten the screws. So these screws go into each of the 3D printed parts, and you have to have an Allen key to do it. Luckily, I had some laying around. They didn't put it in the box. So I cannot confidently say what you actually get in this box because I was missing most of my things. The funny thing was, they ended up shipping me a cable, which their Discord person or like the ticket said they don't include the cable. They gave me one, so I have no idea if this is included, but they actually sent me 2 cables. So I have 2 of these, and then they also sent me an Allen key, which I didn't really need because I'd already built the thing, but I don't know what this comes with, if I'm being honest. I don't think it comes with a cable. I was told by multiple people this is not included in the PCB kit. I would hope that it would come with the Allen key and the rubber pads. I don't know. My last complaint, I promise, is that they only ship you 1 set of rubber pads, and you can't buy more. So you can't actually build more frames if you wanted to. You're basically stuck with the frame you have. There's no way to buy more. So I actually don't know. Maybe if you email support, they'll send you more. As far as I understand it, you can only have 1, set of frame prints for this board, which kind of sucks. All that to say, let's talk about the print process. So you basically print all these different pieces, and you can print it on 1 single plate. I used my A1 Mini, which is basically like the smallest form factor printer you can use, and I printed these all in one go. So you basically have all these parts, and the build guide kind of tells you how to put them together. It's not very good. You're gonna find these 2 little parts that you won't see them in the instructions anywhere. These are not mentioned, so I had to email them about these as well. Turns out these are basically little feet that you can attach to the inside of the frame to give your board some incline if you want to. I did not do that because I didn't know what they were for at the time. You do have adjustments if you want to. Very manual, of course, because you have to take the board apart to do that. So you 3D print the parts. Each of the parts has a hole, and you literally just use the screws they included, and you screw every piece together just like that. It's super simple, goes together really, really easily. And once you have all these pieces put together, you basically get the frame. And the frame just attaches to the actual keyboard, again, with the exact same screws. Everything just screws together super simply. And then you put the pads in the middle here, so it's between the PCB and the frame, and then on the feet as well. And that's the whole process. Everything else obviously is done. The PCB, the switches, the keycaps, everything's already on this board when you get it. So your job is to print the frame and attach it to the PCB, which is super cool in my opinion. I actually loved this build process. To me, this was more fun than building my mode Sonnet because it felt more technical but less frustrating, if that makes sense. Now there are LEDs, like I said, on the bottom of this, so I chose to print my first one in this clear PLA matte, but you can technically print this in anything you wanted to. Like, I don't see why you couldn't use like PETG or something weird or random, because all it has to do is be a solid enough print to screw into. So you can kind of use any print you want. I used PLA clear for this one and then white as like a secondary test print. And I did clear because the LEDs are gonna shine through, which looks super cool. Now there's also 3 layers of keybinds you can have on this board. So there's gonna be 3 little LEDs on the board, which are just like exposed LEDs, which kind of look steampunky, I guess. And if you tap below them, it's actually touch capacitive. So you can swap between the 3 layers that you have set. And you set all those layers through their input software. So you can configure basically anything to do anything. The knob can do whatever you want, clicking it in can do whatever you want, and then each key, of course, can do whatever you want. And then you can also configure the LEDs to shine how you want them, different colors or speeds or gradients, effects, all that good stuff right through the software. Now, the thing I'll say about this keyboard is it is unlike any other keyboard you've ever typed on. If you've never used an ortholinear keyboard before, it is not easy to type on. I will say that right out front. My opinion on this is that this is more of a cool macro pad, is what I would say. Like, obviously we have the XYZ, but if you're somebody like me who is excited about keyboards and gets into kind of like the tech and the different styles they have, it's like, 1, obviously a fun collector's thing to have, but 2, it's just different. Like, you're not gonna be beating any typing test, any typing speed test on this thing. It's a little bit harder to type on, but it feels great. It's like a very well-designed keyboard. It's just a different key layout than I think most people are used to. So I really like using it as a macro pad, although it does have the little nubs on all of the arrow keys and also like where your fingers would normally rest. So technically, you could type on it like a normal keyboard if you got used to it. So if I had to say who this keyboard is actually for, if you are excited about keyboards, if you're into like buying macro pads and you like having all these little gadgets around, this for me is a no-brainer. It's under $100. You get to use your 3D printer. You get to build something in kind of the style that you want it to be built. If you're somebody who's buying this as like your primary gaming keyboard, maybe not. You totally can. I played Apex with this thing. It gets a little weird because you have to shift your row like down one because you need your function keys or your number keys for Apex, but you could use it. And then if you're somebody who wants to use it for a macro pad, I think it's great. It might be a little bit overkill. You could just get something like the Creator Micro, but you can't obviously 3D print this. This is more expensive actually. It's a good option for a macro pad. Obviously I have my complaints with it. I think that their webpage needs a lot of work. They need to add more resources, more build guides that are more in-depth, explaining what little individual parts do, making it clear what comes with the board and what doesn't. The cable they sent me is super nice. It's a braided cable. It has their little Worklouder 3 icons here, the moon, the diamond, and the plus, or whatever those are supposed to be. So it's a custom branded cable, which is super nice. Now I have 2 of them, but they don't make it clear what you actually get in each kit, which I wish they would. I personally think that they should offer to let you buy more of these pads. We should be able to buy these, maybe even in bulk or something, because I'd love to be able to swap out these. Either way, I would say, if anything, this is a super fun board to build. It's super fun to, if like you want to do this with like your kid or something, honestly, this would be a fun way to get them into 3D printing, keyboards, whatever. It's just super cool. What can I say? I mean, you're not obviously buying a top-end keyboard, but you're buying something that you're gonna have a ton of fun building and a ton of fun using.